I want to start by thanking you for your words in the introduction. And I want to tell you just how nice it is to have people to work with. I sat on the council for 12 years. I wrote 2 drafts of a rent stabilization bill, walked it to every council member's office. Not one council member ever came over and said, can we talk about this? Now you've got 11 people talking about it. That's at least progress in direction of let's talk about something. Over the last year, we received reports of rents in Montgomery County increasing in excess of 10 and 15% per month, and that's obscene. Roughly 75% of the rent increases reported to us were over a 10% rent increase. The highest increase for an annual lease renewal was reported at 53%. Who can afford that? I heard from Councilmember Monique Ashton right here in Rockville that they're getting reports of large rent increases from the tenants here. This is not just the Montgomery County writ large. It is a local issue. In fact, it's a local issue everywhere except Tacoma Park, where it actually has rent stabilization. Ultimately, rent stabilization is about stable homes and stable communities. There are 2 plans on the table here in this debate. This bill is the bill that actually is designed to protect renters while also allowing landlords to continue to adjust for inflationary increases that require adjustments in their rents. The other bill would allow increases up to 8% over inflation. So this year would allow a 12.4% increase right now. And if it had been done at the height of the pandemic when the inflation was peaking around 8%, you'd be looking at 16% increases. This is nuts. It totally divorces the rent increase from the cost increases. For years, this county's had voluntary rent guidelines that were based on an increase in inflationary costs. Now, we could debate whether they used the right measure, but at least the principle was it was tied to an increase in costs. These rent increases have no nexus to the cost, none whatsoever. And so I've got these handy charts to show you that kind of make the point. I want to thank my assistants for this. Come on over here. So let's see, Scotty, you're the good guy and he's the bad guy? I'm the bad guy. You're the bad guy, okay. So this is hypothetical what happens on a 100-unit building. If you had this spread of units, efficiencies, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, and I didn't underestimate rents. I said $2,000 for an efficiency, $2,400 for 1 bedroom, $3,000 for a 2-bedroom. It doesn't matter what these numbers are because the percentages play out the same. But that building would have $248,000 in income. And if they're achieving a net operating income of 60%, which is pretty much the industry norm, their expenses would be $92,200 a year. If they had 4% on $99,200, they would need to cover a $3,968 increase in their costs. To recover $3,968, you don't need even a 4% inflation adjustment. You need a 1.6% inflation adjustment. Do the math yourselves. If costs go up $30, go up 6%, 4%. If you take 1.6 times 2,000, you get the rent increase you need. It's right there. This is not something I'm just saying. These are real things from real spreadsheets, not a chatbot. This makes it more real for the individual units, and it shows you that a $2,000 efficiency with $800 in operating expenses, their operating expenses would decrease to $832. If you're just protecting the dollars that the landlord's spending, they need a 1.6% increase to cover the $32. A 1-bedroom requires a $38 increase, again, 1.6%, and a 2-bedroom at $3,000 would require a $48 increase. If you're protecting the landlord's income, their net operating income, the increases go up a little bit, but the average increase is 2.67% to cover 4% inflation. This is what the other bill would do. That's the bottom one. If you took 4% inflation and added 8%, which is the cap that the council would allow, an efficiency at $2,000 goes to $2,240. $208 over what a landlord needs to recover the additional money they spend $147 over the amount of money you need to maintain your net operating income at 60%. Clearly, these two versions of what a person would do to protect their income, protect their profitability, let them stay in business. The last one has no bearing on the cost increase. And you're talking about cost increases of $240 versus $53, $288 versus $64, and $360 on a two-bedroom versus $80. Clear, it is. I've referred to this bill as basically legislation to legalize gouging, not to protect people from gouging. So I want to thank you all for doing this. I want people to look at real numbers and understand what the impacts are going to be on rents and what the impacts are going to be on landlords. My colleagues here have crafted a bill that protects profitability and operating expenses, but it doesn't need to gouge tenants in order to do that. So thank you for your work.